What if I told you that the first 60 minutes of your day are the most dangerous for your health, not because of what you are doing, but because of what you are doing to two of the most hard-working organs in your body? I'm talking about your kidneys. If you are over the age of 60, your kidneys are currently operating like a vintage car engine. They are reliable and capable, but they are far more sensitive to fuel quality, pressure, and maintenance than they were 40 years ago. Most seniors wake up and immediately fall into a series of innocent morning rituals that feel productive. Yet the latest nephrology research, much of it published just in the last few months of 2026, reveals these habits are actually forcing your kidneys into a state of hyperfiltration, a quiet, invisible process of wearing out the delicate filtering units inside your body. By the end of this video, you are going to understand the 5 specific morning behaviors that are silently scarring your kidneys, the hidden morning blood pressure spike that many doctors miss, and most importantly, the 3 simple, science-backed shifts you can make tomorrow morning to give your kidneys the protection they deserve. This is the stuff your doctor wishes they had an hour to explain. So stay with me, because your kidneys don't scream when they are in trouble. They suffer in silence until it's almost too late. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we focus on real, actionable science for longevity and healthy aging. No hype, no miracle cures, just the data you need to live a stronger, more vibrant life. Today, we are tackling a topic that genuinely shocked me when I dug into the recent clinical trials. We all know heart disease is the leading killer, but what many people don't realize is that your kidneys and your heart are essentially part of the same plumbing system. In the United States alone, 37 million adults are estimated to have chronic kidney disease, but a staggering 90% of them have no idea. For those of us over 60, the stakes are dramatically higher. Our kidneys naturally lose about 1% of their function every year after age 40. Our nephrons, the tiny filters that clean your blood, don't regenerate. Once they are gone, they are gone. This means that a habit that was perfectly fine when you were 30 can become a direct threat to your kidney health once you cross that 60-year milestone. Let's start with the first and perhaps most common mistake, the dehydration jumpstart. Most seniors wake up and immediately reach for a cup of coffee. I love coffee as much as anyone, and it has some great antioxidants, but here is the problem for the senior body. During the night, you lose a significant amount of fluid through respiration and perspiration. You wake up in a naturally dehydrated state. When you pour caffeine, a diuretic, into your system before replacing that lost water, you are asking your kidneys to filter concentrated blood. Think of your kidneys like a coffee filter. If you try to run thick, muddy water through a filter, it clogs and tears. When your blood is thick from morning dehydration, your kidneys have to increase the internal pressure just to push that blood through the filters. This is called intraglomerular hypertension. Over time, this high-pressure environment causes the delicate filters to scar and harden. This isn't about the coffee itself, it's about the order of operations. The second habit is something many people do because they think they are being healthy, the high-protein heavy breakfast. We've been told for decades that seniors need more protein to prevent muscle loss or sarcopenia. While that is true, the timing and the load of that protein matter immensely for your kidneys. When you consume a massive amount of protein, like a 3-egg omelet with sausage, first thing in the morning, your kidneys have to work overtime to process the nitrogenous waste products like urea. In a younger person, the kidneys have renal reserve, extra capacity to handle the load. But after 60, that reserve is often gone. A study published in early 2026 followed seniors for 5 years and found that those who consumed more than 30 grams of protein in a single morning sitting had a significantly faster decline in their glomerular filtration rate compared to those who spread their protein out. You are essentially asking an old filter to do a week's worth of work in 1 hour. Now let's talk about the third kidney killer hiding in your morning, NSAID reliance. This is the one that keeps nephrologists awake at night. Many seniors wake up with stiff joints or a bit of back pain and reach for a common over-the-counter painkiller, ibuprofen or naproxen. You might think, it's just one pill to get my day started. But for a senior, NSAIDs are like a chemical sledgehammer to the kidneys. These drugs work by blocking prostaglandins, which are chemicals that keep the blood vessels in your kidneys open. When you take these on an empty, slightly dehydrated morning stomach, you are essentially choking the blood flow to your kidneys. In just 30 minutes, the blood flow to your filtering units can drop by 20 to 30%. This causes acute on chronic injury. If you do this every morning, you aren't just managing pain, you are slowly suffocating your kidneys. The fourth habit is the hidden salt trap in morning healthy foods. You might have swapped the bacon for a piece of whole grain toast or a bowl of instant oatmeal, thinking you are doing your heart a favor. But for seniors, the kidneys are the primary regulators of sodium, and as we age, our kidneys become salt sluggish. Many commercial breads, instant cereals, and even low-fat cottage cheese are loaded with hidden sodium to make them shelf-stable and flavorful. When you hit your system with a high sodium load in the morning, your kidneys can't flush it out as quickly as they used to. This leads to water retention and a spike in your morning blood pressure. But here's the kicker. It's not just your systemic blood pressure that rises, it's the pressure inside the kidney itself. This internal pressure is what leads to albuminuria, or leaking protein into your urine, which is the first sign of kidney failure. The fifth and final morning habit is the post-awakening glucose spike. Many seniors enjoy a fruit-only breakfast or a processed muffin. Even if it feels light, the sudden influx of refined sugar or even high fructose fruit in a fasted state causes a massive insulin spike. For someone over 60, insulin resistance is common. High levels of insulin and glucose in the morning don't just affect your waistline. They act as metabolic irritants to the kidneys. They trigger the release of growth factors that cause the kidney's basement membrane to thicken and lose its filtering efficiency. This is the foundation of diabetic kidney disease, even if you haven't been diagnosed with diabetes yet. Your kidneys are extremely sensitive to the sticky nature of high glucose blood. To understand why these morning habits are so destructive, we have to look at the concept of renal hyperfiltration. Imagine a city where half the water treatment plants are shut down for repairs, but the city's water usage stays the same. The remaining plants have to run at 200% capacity just to keep the water flowing. That is exactly what happens in the senior kidney. Because we lose nephrons as we age, the surviving nephrons enlarge and work harder. This looks fine on a standard blood test. Your creatinine might look normal, but under the surface, those remaining filters are under massive mechanical stress. When you add a morning salt spike or a protein flood, you are pushing those overworked filters over the edge. This leads us to a massive blind spot in modern medicine: masked morning hypertension. Most people check their blood pressure in the afternoon or at the doctor's office, but the kidney is most vulnerable during the morning surge, the period right after you wake up when your cortisol and adrenaline levels naturally rise to get you moving. For many seniors, this surge is exaggerated. If your morning routine includes high-sodium food and early morning stress, your internal kidney pressure can skyrocket while your arm cuff blood pressure stays within a range that your doctor considers acceptable. This is why we see so many seniors developing kidney decline despite having controlled blood pressure. Let's dive deeper into the nighttime fluid shift and how it impacts your morning. As we discussed in our previous video on heart health, fluid tends to pool in the legs during the day and returns to the heart and kidneys at night. When you wake up, your kidneys have just finished a marathon of processing that fluid. They are tired. If the first thing you do is hit them with a concentrated dose of caffeine or sodium, you are essentially asking a marathon runner to start a sprint the second they cross the finish line. This is why morning edema, that puffiness in the eyes or hands, is such a critical warning sign. It's your kidneys telling you they are struggling to keep up with the volume and the pressure. Another critical factor emerging in 2026 research is the gut-kidney axis. We are finding that the bacteria in your gut produce metabolites that can either protect or poison your kidneys. Many seniors have a sluggish morning gut. When you eat processed morning foods, your gut bacteria produce a compound called TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide. High levels of TMAO are directly toxic to the kidney's filtering membrane. By choosing a morning routine that supports gut health, Like the 16-ounce water habit we will discuss, you are actually lowering the toxin load that your kidneys have to process for the rest of the day. We must also talk about the supplement trap. Many seniors take a handful of vitamins and minerals first thing in the morning. While supplements like vitamin D or calcium are important, taking them in a concentrated form on an empty stomach can create mineral microcrystals in the urine. For a senior kidney with reduced flow, these crystals can cause irritation and even contribute to the formation of stones or sludge in the renal tubules. The kidney is an organ that craves dilution. Concentrated anything, whether it's protein, salt, or supplements, is the enemy of the aging nephron. Furthermore, we need to address the acid-base balance. Your kidneys are the primary controllers of your body's pH. As we age, our kidneys become less efficient at excreting acid. Most traditional American breakfasts, bacon, eggs, toast, and coffee, are highly acidic. When you start your day with a net acid load, your kidneys have to borrow minerals from your bones to neutralize that acid. This doesn't just contribute to osteoporosis. The process of moving those minerals through the kidney filters can cause tubular injury. This is a major reason why the 2026 guidelines are moving toward a more alkaline morning start, incorporating more water and plant-based elements to buffer that acidity. Let's look at the renal autoregulation failure. In a young person, the kidney has a sophisticated dimmer switch that keeps blood flow steady even if your blood pressure jumps. But after age 60, that switch starts to get stuck. When you experience a morning stressor, like a frustrating news report or a stressful phone call, the resulting spike in blood pressure goes straight into the delicate filters without any protection. This is why your morning environment is just as important as your morning meal. A calm, low-arousal morning isn't just a lifestyle choice. It is a mechanical necessity for kidney preservation. So how do we fix this? How do we protect these vital filters without turning our lives upside down? The science of 2026 suggests 3 powerful, simple shifts. First, the 16-ounce rule. Before you touch coffee, before you touch food, you must drink 16 ounces of room-temperature water. This prehydrates the filters, lowers the viscosity of your blood, and allows your kidneys to start their shift in a low-pressure environment. It's like priming a pump. If you find plain water boring, add a squeeze of fresh lemon. The citrate in lemon actually helps prevent those mineral crystals we talked about and provides a slight alkaline buffer for your system. Second, the protein distribution strategy. Instead of a massive protein hit, aim for 10 to 15 grams of protein in the morning, ideally from plant sources or high-quality yogurt, which are easier on the renal system. This avoids the hyperfiltration spike. Save your larger protein portions for lunch when your body's circulation and metabolic rate are at their peak and your kidneys are better equipped to handle the waste products. Third, the movement flush. A simple 10-minute walk after breakfast does something remarkable. It helps your skeletal muscles soak up that morning glucose and nitrogenous waste, taking the pressure off your insulin response and your kidneys. Think of your muscles as an auxiliary filter. Every gram of glucose your muscles use is a gram of glucose your kidneys don't have to deal with. This is a leisure walk, not a workout. It's about gentle circulation. Fourth, the bicarbonate buffer. New clinical trials in 2026 are showing that for seniors with even mild kidney decline, a tiny amount of natural mineral water high in bicarbonate can significantly slow the progression of scarring. While you should always check with your doctor, replacing 1 cup of morning tea with a mineral-rich water can help neutralize the acid load of your breakfast, protecting those delicate renal tubules from chemical irritation. Fifth, phosphate awareness. Many morning processed meats and ready-to-eat cereals contain phosphate additives. These are absorbed 100% by your body, unlike the naturally occurring phosphorus in whole foods. High blood phosphate levels are a direct toxin to the heart and the kidneys, causing the arteries to calcify. Read your labels in the morning. If you see phos in the ingredient list, like sodium phosphate or phosphoric acid, put it back on the shelf. Your kidneys will thank you 10 years from now. I want you to think of your kidneys as the quiet guardians of your longevity. They don't just filter blood, they control your bone density, They produce the hormone that makes your red blood cells, and they regulate your blood pressure every second of the day. When your kidneys are healthy, you have energy, your mind is clear, and your heart is protected. By changing just those first 60 minutes of your day, you aren't just preventing a disease. You are actively preserving your freedom. You are ensuring that you stay in control of your life, rather than being controlled by a medical schedule. We often think of aging as a process of breaking down, but the new science of renal resilience shows that even a senior kidney can maintain high function well into the 90s if it is not subjected to daily pressure spikes. The kidney is an incredibly forgiving organ if you stop the constant mechanical and chemical insults. It's not about doing something heroic once a year. It's about doing the gentle things every single morning. The science of aging in 2026 is moving away from fixing things once they break and moving toward preserving the amazing machinery we already have. Your kidneys have been working for you since before you were born. They have filtered millions of gallons of blood, adjusted your electrolytes through every meal, and kept your internal environment stable through decades of change. They are a miracle of biological engineering. Tonight, make a plan for tomorrow morning. Put a 16-ounce glass of water by your bed so it's the first thing you see. Switch the instant salt-laden oatmeal for some whole rolled oats with a few walnuts. Look for alternatives to those morning painkillers, maybe a warm compress or some light stretching. Give your kidneys the morning grace they've earned. Furthermore, remember that the sleep-wake transition is when your body undergoes its most complex hormonal recalibration. For those over 60, this transition must be handled with care. If you rush into a chaotic environment or consume heavy irritants immediately upon waking, you are disrupting the natural rhythm of your adrenal glands. Your kidneys are directly tethered to these glands. By creating a morning sacred space, one defined by hydration and calm, you are essentially installing a protective shield around your renal health. This approach isn't just about avoiding dialysis, it's about optimizing the energy and vitality that your kidneys provide. Respect the rhythm, and your body will respond with a level of resilience that defies your chronological age. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that this kind of science-based health information for seniors is important, and it helps us reach more people who might be unknowingly damaging their health. Subscribe for more deep dives into the real science of longevity, circulation, and energy. We have a whole series coming up on the circadian heart and brain-gut longevity that you won't want to miss. I want to hear from you in the comments. What's your current morning routine? Have you noticed any signs of kidney stress, like morning puffiness, a lingering metallic taste, or changes in your energy levels? Or perhaps you've already tried the morning water habit and noticed a difference in how you feel. Let's start a conversation. We can all learn from each other's experiences. Your kidneys have been your loyal filters for 6, 7, maybe 8 decades. Tonight, they are preparing for another day of protecting you. Tomorrow morning, return the favor. Take the salt off the table, hydrate before you caffeinate, and give those filters the rest and respect they deserve. Take care of your kidneys, stay active and connected, and I'll see you in the next one.